I'm Nick Best, I'm Managing Director here at Astranti, and it's me that records the training videos for the Strategic Case Study exam. I've recorded over 10 hours of videos to guide you through the pitfalls and the problems that you can find in this exam and show you exactly how to plan, to write, to create answers that score really well in the exam. This is a short sample, it's about 10 minutes, which is from our very first video in that series, which is just introducing people to the exam and actually telling them what the keys to passing are. In this particular one, I talk a little bit about identifying requirements, about time management, and about planning and the importance of each of those three elements, all of which actually we've got separate videos on later in the series to show you exactly how to do them well. So hopefully you'll find this a useful introduction to some of the keys to passing the Strategic Case Study exam. You need to produce a complete script. I would say that in my years of teaching the case study, the biggest, clearest, most obvious failed script when I look at it is one that isn't finished. If I've got a section and there's a report and the report is half finished, I almost know immediately, no, that's not done. And often the problem comes where people aren't managing their time. They get bogged down, they just start, they tend to take too long reading the start, they're not clear about the points they're going to make, it just goes on and on and on, and suddenly they find they've run out of time and they're only halfway through their report. And so producing that complete finished script, so we talked a moment ago about identifying the requirements. Each of those requirements needs a reasonably complete answer to pass. Let's say there was one section that had two sub-requirements and the individual had only done one of those. And do you know what? This is common. It's common that people do not complete whole sections. Okay, really, really common. Don't underestimate how hard this is, because it is quite hard to complete your whole script. Okay, but suddenly, let's say that was a third of the marks. Let's say it was 30 marks. Actually, suddenly they're only being marked out of 15 because there's two halves to this and they've only done the first one. Maybe they've got 10 out of 15 and suddenly they've got 10 out of, actually not 15, but 10 out of 30 because they've missed the second part. They've just failed. So completing that script, absolutely crucial, and the key to doing this well is to master your planning and your time management. Okay, we're going to tell you how to do that shortly. Okay, one thing worth watching out for in this exam is there's no going back. Once a section is complete, you can't go back to it later. So you can't say, oh well, do you know what, I'm not so sure about this first requirement, don't really know how to do it well, I'll come back to this later in the exam. Well, absolutely not. Once you've clicked, no, this is finished, it's finished. That will mean you'll finish the exam early. Of course, you won't take the full 3 hours over it if you do it that way. There is no going back. So you have to manage your time, make the most of your time in a section. You can't come back to it later and add more in there. It is what it is. So, must produce a complete script. What you need to pass is to produce a complete script. Okay, next is planning. One of the keys to producing a complete script is to plan your answer. So you've got the balanced answer that we talked about, that you're answering all the requirements effectively, that you are focusing what you are writing in the exam. And I've got a whole video showing you how to plan effectively. We will talk through the keys to planning. We don't want to do too much planning because you've only got some. You need to complete the script. You need to complete the sections, but you do need to do a plan. If you've never planned before, you really now need to start. I will show you how to do this. If you jump in and just start writing, you're on the road to failure because you won't be focused, you won't be answering the requirements in the right way, you won't be applying it to the scenario as best you can. And in a good plan, you do all of those things. So we've got for you a step-by-step approach. Do this, then do this, do this, do this, do this. And by the end, you have got your clear plan. So planning, critical to passing. Time management. So I said to you earlier, writing style was absolutely key. The next big thing is time management. Okay, time management means you complete your script. It means that you get a balanced script, two of the things that we've been talking about. And it means that you write a balanced answer with all the sections done. And this is key. This is a very time pressured exam. There will be a lot to do. You may even find that you are struggling in every exam to finish it. Okay, it's extremely time pressured, and it's sort of supposed to be that way. It's supposed to reflect the fact that in the real world you might be in a time pressured environment, and if you are, you will need to produce something of reasonable quality, and only reasonable quality, remember, and there's not 100% answer, just 60% of reasonable quality under time pressure, and the directors be pleased with what you've just done. And it's trying to recreate that. So very, very time pressured. You've got to read the information in the scenario. You've then got to go through and identify the requirements. You've got to do your plan. Then you've got to write your answer. And then you've got to complete not just that first subsection, but the next subsection, and then maybe the next subsection, all within your 45 minutes or your hour or whatever you're given for that section. And so you need to plan each of the timings for those subsections. You need to know how much time you're going to be planning, how much time you're going to be writing your answer, how many paragraphs you're going to be trying to write, and of course we will tell you exactly how to do that. Okay, absolutely. I can't tell you how important that is. Of all of these points on here, in addition to maybe good writing style, that one on time management is the most crucial. I might go as far to say that if you master that, you are 3/4 of the way towards passing. More important than, you see over there in the kind of on the left hand side, strong technical skills. Yep. More important than strong technical skills, which I know some of you will be out there thinking, no, surely not. No. I need to spend my time revising my E3 and my F3 and my P3 notes, and that's what I'm going to be spending my. Because if I know the theory, I can kind of get through it on the day. It doesn't work that way. Okay, mastering your time. Hopefully, you've got strong technical skills through all that work. Now it's about learning how to get through this exam, applying the technical skills and managing your time to get it all down in the time. Absolutely crucial. Okay, when I do master classes, very often what I do, we've often got people that have failed past exams on there, and you ask them, look, what was the key problem? And you would see 60-70% of people on there saying, ran out of time management, messed my time up. Okay, so really is key. Okay, practice. Okay, it is a tough exam. It's supposed to be. This is your final exam before you become a qualified accountant, able to go out, earn more money, be more respected, supposedly. Okay, be more respected by your employers, and the people around you. And so it's supposed to be tough. It's supposed to show that you have brought together all that knowledge from across the full syllabus. Okay, you do need then to practice this and practice it. The likelihood is you'll fail your first attempt, and your second mock you might get a bit better, and by the third you might just be passing, and the fourth one, if you do a fourth or a fifth, that you're getting up to really, really strong scripts. Probably. Okay, it takes a while to get used to the whole thing. If you go into the exam and you've never done a mock, you just blag it on the day, you'll probably fail. You might not do. You might be lucky. You might have a naturally good time management and writing skills and good business acumen. It might just all come together. But the reality is it probably won't. And so I can't urge you enough to practice. Okay? And, time yourself. Actually, the timer is within the system. If you're doing this offline without the timer, then obviously you'll need to time those as you go, so you're doing everything to time. But you do need to time the subsections as well. You've got your timer on the screen, and you need to be aware of all those subsections. So this all comes down to time management. Practice, though, is key. So hopefully you found that clip useful. It talks about 3 really key areas. The first, identifying the requirements, really important to passing. And I've got a whole video for you on how to identify requirements. In fact, it's possibly the most important element. Looking at the examiner's feedback, post-exam feedback, she regularly picks up on people not answering the specific requirement asked. So getting good at that skill really is critical. We've got another video on time management where I share all my key time management tips. That's something that people really do struggle on, time management. So I've got a video for you of that, and I've got 2 videos for you on planning, which guide you through a very structured planning approach that makes sure you pick up all the key elements the examiner is looking for to get a pass. The videos in total 10 hours, so there's a huge amount of guidance and support to show you exactly what you need to do to pass the exam. So if you are looking for a guide to pass, then that would be my recommendation, is either join our course where you get the videos included, or you can just buy the video series all by itself. You'll find full details on our website in the Strategic Case Study section.